earmarked the electrical work and identified him for the electrical portion of the development. And that was a multiple six-figure contract that he ended up missing out on, all over $1,100. What's going on, folks? Eddie Carrington, Mayor of Flux City, and today I am headed downtown to the Coleman Young Municipal Building to try to sort out my certificate of occupancy woes. We finally had all of the inspections signed off, and we have all of the fees paid, but at the last minute, I got an email stating that there are 10 plus unpaid fees on the property that I'm trying to get my C of O for, dating all the way back to 2004, on things such as annual inspections and signage fees, all types of stuff that were really thrown at me in the 25th hour. And so I'm going to try to go down here to the property maintenance department at the Coleman Young Municipal Building to figure out if there is a way where they could potentially take those fees off, due to the fact that those were all attached to the property via a previous owner. I didn't basically close on the property until 2022, and so that's when I actually took ownership. And so from my understanding, from my research, it looks like I'm not responsible for those fees that are listed from, once again, 2004 all the way up to 2018, 2019. So we shall see. Wish me luck. And if I am unsuccessful at getting these fees rectified, I did bring my checkbook. So fingers crossed.
How you doing today?
Good, how about you? So I actually purchased a property back in 2023. We closed on it, and I've been going through the process of getting the certificate of occupancy for it. And we finally got through all of our inspections, and I paid the C of O fee, and Miss Davis sent me a list of charges or fees prior to when I owned the property. And I have a list of those, but
You got the deed?
yes,
You know the title person?
yes. So this is,
I can have my supervisor.
I can actually, that's a copy of one,
Yeah.
but I can email you.
He's got on one.
My birthday too was on the 1st.
Your birthday was on first?
Yeah.
I didn't.
All right.
There you go.
You are my hero. Oh my goodness. I give you a hug. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. You too. So, funny story. While I was down at the Coleman Young building trying to gain my certificate of occupancy from the permit department, a subcontractor that I used to work with back in the day walked in, and he did pretty good work for me on a project in particular that required some extensive electrical work throughout the entire facility. But he ended up going ghost on me on the following project. I gave him a deposit. I actually overpaid when it comes to the deposit that I gave him. He asked for an amount. I ended up going above and beyond the amount that he requested, and when it came time for him to do the work, I couldn't get in contact with him. And I reached out to him a few times, and even at one point I'm like, hey, look, I need my $1,000 back. I need my $1,100 back that I gave you via text message. And he did mention that he was going to pay me back. This was some years back, but he never did. Fast forward to 2025, I run into him at the permit department at the Coleman Young Municipal Facility, and the first first thing that I said to him, I said, hey, look, you owe me $1,100. And even though we dapped it up and we had a good conversation, and I definitely wish him well. He was a good guy overall. He ran into some challenges that ultimately caused him to not be able to complete the work that I needed him to complete. Of course, I'm frustrated, even now, because of the fact that I took an $1,100 loss on this subcontractor, one of many that has gotten away with a deposit from me. And this was pre-commercial development and redevelopment that I'm doing now. But throughout our conversation, I'm not giving him a hard time outside of the initial conversation that I had about him owing me money. But I did tell him, I said, look, because he has heard about the projects that I'm working on and congratulated me and things of that nature. And one of the following things I said to him after he congratulated me was that I had earmarked the electrical work and identified him for the electrical portion of the development. And that was a multiple six-figure contract that he ended up missing out on, all over $1,100. You have to be a man of your word. You have to be a person of your word. And when you promise certain things, you need to be able to execute. And in turn, those things that you execute on could lead to bigger opportunities. Those things that you don't end up executing on after making promises and taking deposits and money from your customer base, specifically if you're a GC, but this potentially can blanket all types of verticals across the real estate realm. You may find yourself missing out on a bigger blessing. You could look up and you could miss out on larger blessings that ultimately could be life-changing for your business. And I once again let this individual know that although I forgive him for running off with my $1,100, water under the bridge at this point, that action or inaction that he took resulted in him missing out on multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars in electrical work for my project. And so let that be a lesson to you. Don't run off on the plug. Don't run off on the plug. Make sure that if you are promising certain services, and once again, if you are receiving dollars from somebody with an expectation that you need to put some work in order to not only satisfy that deposit, but complete an overall contract that you may have with somebody, you have to make sure you execute, or don't take the opportunity to begin with. Certificate of compliance, unofficially posted on site, but officially in hand. Super excited to be at this place with this project. It has been a labor of love and passion. You got to be gritty when it comes to developing in the city of Detroit. And there's still some work to be done, obviously. We have to go through our lease up phase. And we also have to get our commercial tenants up to par with their space, making sure that they have the financing in place in order to build out their dream facilities, so on and so forth. But really excited to be at this point. And man, I just couldn't believe how tough it was to get our certificate of compliance due to the number of challenges we just continue to run into at the very last, or at the 25th hour. And so being at this point is an opportunity for me to pause and celebrate. But once again, there's still a lot of work to do. But I'm hoping that these videos are helpful. And in 2025, we're going to be sharing a lot more content that hopefully is more beneficial for you, especially for the membership model that I do plan on putting in place in order for me to be a little bit more mid to low level with regard to how I may be able to assist you and or show you certain things that I'm not able to show on via this public format, as opposed to a more intimate form of engagement. But with that said, I appreciate you chiming in, watching our videos, and I'll see you in the next one.